risk of beating a dead Jewish horse, I was driving up to the deer camp this morning, and I realized another big difference between my point of view and what the Great White Stokes point of view is going to be. I drive over a particular river, and there's this sign that says you are now entering Dixie County. And I realized that Stoke has been behind enemy lines nearly all his life. Like, California changed around him. I'm not sure how Alaska is. I'm sure Alaska has its zones where it's a little more liberal. When they were tearing down statues of Confederate generals, I believe they were in townships that have since gone blue. The same thing hasn't really happened in my particular pocket of Florida, so I'm not seeing the same things other people see. I'm almost like working from the stronghold, if you will. Like, you see the Tennessee battle flag flying like everywhere that you look. Still stickers on the back of people's cars, whereas in other areas of the country, my understanding is people are hesitant to even put a Donald Trump or a Republican sticker on the back of their car, let alone what's commonly referred to as the rebel flag. So it changes how I see things. And I think it skews my give a damn also. I see certain things, and I touched on it a little bit in the last video, of this whole lost cause mentality. Not like we're fighting a lost cause, but that the fight was part of a lost cause. There's videos on it pertaining to the Civil War, like a lost cause myth, to say things like, well, Germany was actually fighting World War II because da-da-da-da-da, and the narrator tries to gaslight you into believing it was for something different besides world and tribal conquest, right? Like, oh no, it was because of economics and this and that and the other fucking thing. And in the end, it doesn't really amount to a hill of beans other than being gaslit. And it's the one instance where the term gaslighting makes the most sense, because you have the media saying, oh, this sucks, oh, that sucks, oh, this sucks, oh, that sucks. And then all of a sudden, just the right silver-tongued devil comes along and says, oh, hey, here's why. It's dark, but I'd snap a picture of the Confederate Soldiers Memorial that I just drove past. It was just all rolling around in my head. And capped off with, and I don't get on Twitter much, and this all rolls into the Jewish thing, because racism, hate, and all that shit, I lump into one principality. Whether your hate is against blacks or Jews or whichever, I feel like it's a formulaic chemical brain response to input that causes that hate. And when that hate's directed, it's been programmed to fall into place. But I get on what used to be known as Twitter, and for whatever reason, I know why, because I follow the President of the United States, and I followed it back when it was Trump and now it's Biden, right? So, you know what his latest post was? Make no mistake, the Civil War was fought over slavery. All I could think of, besides like no shit Sherlock or a so fucking what, I'm like thinking, man, is this the most important thing you've got fucking going on Because to me, this racism, hate, bullshit is a mere distraction and a way to engage the masses in a way that they can comprehend. Because maybe the average person can't comprehend what the true issues that we're facing are, or they're so fucking terrifying. Because last I heard, maybe the numbers are off, a $34 trillion national debt. A computer program that can read your mind. And you're writing about bullshit that happened over 200 years ago. Or coming up on 200 years ago. You know, Civil War sure shit fought. Was it a war of northern aggression? I was keen to a video recently where there were actually several southern militia offenses where they had seized national and federal arsenals proceeding to the bombing of Fort Sumter, which the South did. So, lost causes, horseshit like that, I don't know. I just feel like too many times we're manipulated into either thinking too big than we should or too small than we should. Meanwhile, the President of the United States writes about a bunch of bullshit that happened 200 years ago, but it's looking like we may not have a presidential debate like what we've had years and years and years, because the two people that are most likely to be president are too retarded to carry on a mature and logical conversation about what's going on or what's important. And maybe there's nothing going on and nothing's really all that important. You know, we think back to a simpler time, but you know, your perspective is skewed because when you go back too far, then you get back into your childhood where your personal responsibilities are changed as well. So you can't just look at things so simple. Because I look back at the 90s, you know, as surely as we're listening to Lithium in the background here, it brings me back to my high school years where I had very limited cares with the exception of being terrified to death that I got my girlfriend knocked up. No. I think there's good to be had in the world, and I think there's good to come. I don't think it necessarily has to look like what it looked like in the past, and I'm not convinced that the older people are right, that they're glad that they're passing away and are worried for the kids of the future. It's a bizarre situation. The notion of retirement, that is. Which I think retirement for the masses is a relatively new construct anyway, right? Alright. This video sucked, and it was all over the place. It's brought to you by the letter Go Fuck Yourself.